Namaskar. Welcome to Life Express. Today, the world is looking at India and India is looking at the world with its age-old conviction of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, meaning the whole world is our family. वैसे देखा जाए तो हमें वसुधैव कुटुंबकम और अतिथि देवो भव का नारा लगाते लगाते बहुत ही भारी कीमत चुकानी पड़ी है और भारी नुकसान भी उठाना पड़ा है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इनवाइटिंग फॉरेन इन्वेजन ऑन इंडिया। और मैं फ़ख्र के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि हिंदुस्तान एक ऐसा देश है जिसने आज तक किसी पे भी ना ही कोई आक्रमण किया और ना ही कभी राज किया। हाँ, हमने पूरी दुनिया पे राज किया, लेकिन उनके अधिकार, अस्तित्व और संस्कृति को छीन कर नहीं, बल्कि उनके दिलों पर राज किया, अपनी प्राचीन संस्कृति एवं फिलॉसफी की खुशबू बिखेर कर। और यही कारण है कि आज पूरी दुनिया भारत की तरफ देख रही है, क्योंकि पूरी दुनिया में आज हाहाकार मचा हुआ है। कहीं फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस है तो कहीं पॉलिटिकल क्राइसिस, कहीं एम्प्लॉयमेंट क्राइसिस है तो कहीं फूड क्राइसिस, कहीं वाटर क्राइसिस है तो कहीं सेंसिटिविटी क्राइसिस। और इन सभी क्राइसिस या संकटों के बीच आज दुनिया एक सोसाइटल मॉडल ऑफ लिविंग ढूंढ रही है ताकि वे शांति और सौहार्द के साथ जी सके। लेकिन अफसोस, आज दुनिया के पास कोई ऐसा मॉडल नहीं है। बट इंडिया हैज़ अ suitable model of living and holistic well-being aimed at creating a better world of peace and harmony. और उस मॉडल को ही आज हम इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम के रूप में देख रहे हैं, जिसके अंतर्गत जीवन की सभी समस्याओं का पर्याप्त निदान बताया गया है। और मेरे इस कार्यक्रम लाइफ एक्सप्रेस का उद्देश्य भी आप सभी को इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से रूबरू कराना है जीवन के विभिन्न पहलुओं पर। तो आगे बढ़ते हैं हमारे अगले सेगमेंट हॉल ऑफ फेम की ओर, जहां हम एक बार फिर मिलेंगे समाज के एक ऐसे कर्मयोगी से जिन्होंने समाज और राष्ट्र के लिए कई सराहनीय कार्य किए हैं, लेकिन हम और आप उससे बेखबर हैं। नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज के हॉल ऑफ फेम में हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही खास मेहमान हैं जिनके जीवन से जुड़े कई रोचक तथ्य हैं। इससे पहले कि हम उन रोचक तथ्यों को जाने उन्हीं की जुबानी, मैं चाहूंगा कि सबसे पहले मैं आपको अपने विशेष अतिथि का एक संक्षिप्त परिचय दे दूं। हमारे विशेष अतिथि का जन्म 30 नवंबर 1961 को तमिलनाडु के कोयम्बटूर के सोलूर में हुआ था। बचपन से ही अपनी विलक्षण प्रतिभा एवं उत्कृष्ट कार्यों के बदौलत उन्होंने समाज में अपनी एक अलग पहचान बना ली थी। यदि हम उनके शैक्षणिक जीवन पर प्रकाश डालें तो हम पाते हैं कि उन्होंने अपनी प्रारंभिक, माध्यमिक तथा उच्च शिक्षा अव्वल दर्जे से सफलतापूर्वक पूरी की। More importantly, he did his PhD from University of Cambridge, England, in electrical engineering, and it is said that his PhD was the first PhD of its kind in the domain of vacuum nanoelectronics at University of Cambridge. Our esteemed guest has also made a mark in several entrepreneurial, environmental, sustainability, plus R&D and innovation projects at national and international levels, especially in countries like Japan, UK, USA, China, South Korea, Singapore, Russia, and European Union countries. Our esteemed guest has also been felicitated with several prestigious awards like Higher Education Leader of the Year Award, Visionary Leader of the Year, India's Most Impactful Vice Chancellor, Terina, MathWorks Best Vice Chancellor Award, and many more. With his vast experience of 39 years in education sector and with his knowledge of 6 languages, हमारे आज के विशिष्ट अतिथि एक नहीं बल्कि 3 यूनिवर्सिटीज के वाइस चांसलर भी रह चुके हैं. Yes, I am talking of one and only Professor Dr. B.S. Satyanarayana. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar. Thanks
First
for
of
the
all,
kind introduction.
thank you, sir. First of all, sir, on behalf of my entire Life Express team and on behalf of my intellectual viewers, I extend a very warm welcome and sincere gratitude to you for your gracious presence in Life Express.
Thank you. A plus privilege to participating in this interaction with you. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as we know from your rich academic profile that you have served Indian academia for more than 39 years in different highly responsible positions. And you have been vice chancellor of 3 universities of India like BML Munjal University, Gurugram, then CV Raman Global University, Bhubaneswar, and GD Goenka University, Gurugram. तो इतनी लंबी शैक्षणिक सेवा देने के बाद मैं आपसे जानना चाहूंगा कि क्या है शिक्षा आपके लिए? हाउ डू यू डिफाइन एन आइडियल एजुकेशन? What is the purpose of education, and is that purpose being served by today's education? Over to you, sir.
Well, I think today we are in the age of lifelong learners. और हमारे मतलब पुराणों में इतिहासों में भी वेदों में देखे तो वेदों में पहले महावाक्य है प्रज्ञानम ब्रह्मा. तो मतलब we have always had a tradition of seeking knowledge, and therefore and that's from time immemorial, and hence it's a wonderful vocation to be, because especially in the current age when knowledge life cycles from earlier era when it was 50 years to 30 years to 13 years, it is now reduced to 36 years. Product processes and systems are reducing from 36 months to say 13 months or even 33 months today. So in this space when things are happening, I think education is a key enabler for us in the future, and therefore being in the education sector is like having a true window view or a rear side seat in the front of an aircraft of all that is going to happen in the future too. So it's a very exciting time to be in education for all of us. So, whatever is the environment, it's up to us to make it happen, because we are in a front seat, like a literally driver's seat, and we are the only people who are privileged being paid to learn when everybody else has to be paid to, they have to pay something and go seeking the opportunity for learning. We are paid to learn and share our knowledge. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity to be in learning. Having had experience or opportunity of setting up startup companies in Japan, working in Indian R&D labs or Indian companies, like say whether it's Haritron or National Physical Laboratory, or again working in Cambridge plus equally with Japanese industries and partners in Korea, Europe, Russia and all. I would say that it's one of the best places to be today is education. It's up to us to make use of it. मतलब ये हमारे ऊपर ही है कि भाई हम इसकी कितना फायदा ले सकते हैं, और opportunities are truly unlimited. So I believe it's and I'm happy that out of my close to 39 plus years, I've had half of the experience in like diplomacy, industry, R&D, consultancy, and half in education. But it has definitely been a lifelong experience of learning. From literally from the time I am aware. We are looking at. So I feel we are blessed to have an opportunity to be in education domain.
Yeah. Very nice, and I really thank you for your clear and insightful, explanation on the purpose of education. Although my, intention was slightly different because I was just taking it, from our Vedic perspective, in which, we have the conviction of, purpose of education like sa vidyaya vimukte. So a true education is one that liberates you from sufferings, but today's education is not liberating, rather it's attaching us to, suffering. It has been seen, although many a time we have also many privileges also. But anyway, we will come to that later on. But here I shall move to a question which is somewhat, critical. Today's education seems to be highly paradoxical for the reason that, on the one hand, we are trying to regain our glorious academic past of Nalanda time, and on the other hand, we are still the copier of Macaulay model of education. So, in a sense, we are not setting any benchmark to be the global knowledge superpower. और बड़ा दुख होता है अ, कि शिक्षा नीति का ये दोहरापन देख करके एक तरफ आप भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा, भारतीय दर्शन, गुरुकुल मॉडल ऑफ एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं और दूसरी ओर वेस्ट के बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को अपना बेंचमार्क बना रहे हैं. सो डू यू थिंक आवर करंट एजुकेशन विल हेल्प अस bring back our glorious past and make India a knowledge superpower again? If you see India becoming a global guru or knowledge superpower, please tell us how, and if not, why. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I think it's a very great question, and I don't think we could maybe in this short discussion period truly answer everything. But I'm absolutely sure that, as I said in the very beginning, say the Prajnanam Brahma. So we have always respected knowledge, and we have been seekers of knowledge, and it could deliver us from suffering. But I mean, otherwise, it's also there which is again salvation, moksha. Okay. Therefore, I think education is an inherent part of our system, and we have been as the Prime Minister also says, an aspirational nation. We are looking for our aspirations to be enabled through education, which is more true today in the era of knowledge economy. So I think the problems with our education system is more of our own doing, because knowledge is eternal and perennial. It's always evolving. I mean, it's not stagnant. And therefore, our Gurukula system essentially looked at experiential learning under the teacher. When you look at the Bologna agreement and how, say, the universities evolved, whether from the Oxford, Cambridge, and other, even there to this day, they have essentially the tutorial process is the same Gurukula system, a one-on-one engagement and education through experiential learning or theory and practice. So knowledge and skill are seamlessly, I mean, linked together. I mean, because I mean, knowledge by itself, without, I mean, say the skill are useless, and the skill without the deep understanding what that the knowledge provides again is irrelevant. And therefore, it has always been a seamless marriage of knowledge and skill, leading to proficiency. I mean, like again, Chanakya said, Siddhir Bhushyati Vidya. So, I mean, the glory or the crowning of the knowledge is efficient use, application of it. So, therefore, this has always been the tradition. Knowledge was expected to do so. But somewhere along in the last few years post, I mean, our original education, as I said, the Indian knowledge system looked at it holistically with even a multidisciplinary approach, because you lived in Gurukula, you studied everything, and you understood. And again, the knowledge had multiple layers of revelation. You started with, say, a sloka, which could literally be a song. But as you grow more knowledge, I mean, you matured, the Rishi would give, and the teacher would give him a next level of understanding. And as he attains greater, I mean, maturity to understand and be judicious in use of the knowledge, maybe a higher level of relevance or the secrets of the knowledge were revealed based on one's growth. So now what has happened is we have started making education, as you said, the Macaulay education was maybe essentially designed for clerks to be employable and to have information and carry out a repeated job. But then post independence, somewhere we forgot that, I mean, see, pursuit of knowledge does not mean blindly copying or aping the West or continuing with the Macaulay, and that we should have actually equally looked at our own knowledge system. Do not believe in anything. I mean, because you need to rationally, knowledge and seeker of knowledge has to rationally ask question. I mean, prashna and tarka were the adhara or the basis of our knowledge system from the Vedas time. And therefore, that is somewhere in the process of getting information, we just made knowing of information as the basis of education, rather than knowing, understanding, assimilating, and practicing it all together, which was the original part. So that is why now it has become a rote learning, or the Macaulay learning, as we call it. And partly it was and abated by the lack of infrastructure, lack of financial inputs. Because you see, whether I'm doing history, English literature, mathematics, economics, commerce, engineering, medical. See, when I have knowledge, it should be associated with practice, practice in real life, practice with tools, whether it's computation simulation tools or, I mean, practical tools. So somewhere along our system, we were only somehow focusing on information and degrees and lost the skill aspect of it. And it was simply isolated. And again, lack of resources aggravated that situation. So I think now the national education policy and relooking at multidisciplinary, immersive, experiential learning, or bringing knowledge and skill together, or even bringing all this, say, national, I mean, say, credit framework. I mean, whether it's a vocational seamless movement from vocation to knowledge, or skill to knowledge and knowledge to skill, provisioning for them with credit transfers, are all looking at once again bringing real life experience and knowledge and the inner realization of its merits, and then asking the question towards innovation and application for newer domains is happening. So I think India, as you rightly mentioned, were the knowledge gurus. I mean, the gurus of the world. That's why the whole world came looking for India. Or even Mark Twain, as he rightly said, if in anything you want about knowledge, if cannot be found in India, it cannot be found anywhere. So therefore, but then we cannot live in past glory because we don't even understand those texts, whether they were written in Sanskrit or Tamil or Kannada or Telugu or Bengal, because India has so much of heritage of language and text and knowledge. And so we need to first understand them to be able to fully appreciate it. We cannot a half-baked interpretation of people who did not even understand it, or possibly sometimes even had bias. But
So
therefore,
that is again a knowledge,
not be taken by.
as you said that this knowledge heritage though we have, but decoding that knowledge remains a challenge.
Yes. So that
Yeah.
is where I think it's good that the national education policy emphasizes on even reading in our mother tongue, native tongue. So, but as the
Mhm.
bigger question as you addressed was, can we move forward or become a Movisha Guru? I think so. We need to take knowledge as is with the current modern, I mean, state of art technology as it is understood, equally understand our own knowledge system. And from there, look, and plus our knowledge system always looked at sustainability because it was never a district knowledge was it had sustainability inbuilt, but today only now we are talking of sustainable development, whereas whole of our lifestyle, I mean, was about sustainable living with our environment. That is why even the creation of, say, I mean, 330 million uh, gods was that, see, essentially respect everything, whether it is the animate or the inanimate, the mountain, the
Mhm.
trees, the snake, the rat, the tiger. So we respected everything, and therefore that knowledge system truly was an integrated sustainable living way, and that we had lost and blindly started aping the West. But it does at the same time today the knowledge and the technology gives us huge amount of capabilities to enable our people at the switch of a button and with transparency and integrity. Therefore, it will be foolish to blindly discard the current knowledge, and equally foolish only to, without understanding, I mean, make it a ritualistic or superstitious way of taking up the fundamental knowledge system that we have. So how do we
So
make a
it
judicious
has
blend? And
it
that is
it
what I
has
think the
to
new
be.
education policy is looking forward to. And I'm sure
Yes.
it will happen because now that we are realizing that more and more youngsters are realizing education system is mandating. So I think somewhere we will find a way that we will truly move forward. And plus the whole world is looking at us both for our demographic dividend and our ability to work with diversity and still assimilate multidisciplinary learning faster. Most of the people are more used to channelized learning, but we are by default capable of multitasking, and therefore I believe we truly are on the right path. But then the biggest challenge is the change in the mindset of the teacher to accept this and understand that they are as much a learner as a student, and not think that, oh, I have got a degree and I know everything and what I know is ultimate.
Really nice. So we should have a blend of modernity with antiquity for our holistic development, as you are saying. Very nice. Sir, my next question is related to employment. Today, the speed with which our world is changing, we cannot say what does the future hold for us. The career flights that our students are taking today will not necessarily land them at the right airport, maybe 5 or 6 years down the line. So, in this scenario, what would you like to say on future readiness of our students for future jobs?
Yeah, I think education, as we said, whether it was a Gurukula Parampara, or even say the Bologna Agreement, which decided the type of education that suppose the Cambridge and the Oxfords and Stanford, Princeton are supposed to be delivering, which we are sort of blindly copying, giving up our original process, is again looking at core foundation of all domains, whether it is financial, science, liberal arts. We should have a core understanding of fundamental subjects. I mean, so appreciation for all aspects of the STEAM. I mean, science, technology, medical engineering to arts and literature, have so that emotional to ethical to spiritual to intellectual quotient are all seamlessly developed in us on one side. So foundation education should be holistic, grounded, and give us a strong foundation. Then the experiential learning, leveraging this to every domain, is again we should do through practice, learning by practice or project based learning. The moment we have come, we engage in project based learning, and we know how to approach a problem in a systematic way, from first principles. I mean, and so if we start or do, I mean, say you have a design thinking overview, I think if this experiential learning is given, our foundation is clean. I think we can adapt to any emerging situation. See, everywhere I will have to say something when I'm doing any job. So my communication has to be right. I should be able to use, I mean, if I'm used to use a tool, whether it is a computer, whether it's a machine, I should be able to use it. I should be, if I have to program it, I should know some programming language and syntax. But then whether I'm developing a tool for medical application, whether I'm developing it for food processing, whether I'm developing it for entertainment and leisure. So I should then know that domain and link all them together. So as far as my foundations are right, and I know how to use them, or if even say new tools are evolving, I can adapt to them. It is like whether I was working with typewriter, whether I'm working with a keyboard, or today everything I do with speech. Directly, I speak to my mobile phone and then correct it in between. So, but then my ability to speaking is same. My ability to work with that interface, whether it was the keyboard, if I'm strong in my fundament and the domain knowledge is clear, then I think we will be able to adapt, because all emerging domains are multidisciplinary. So, I mean, at the interface of multiple domain is where newer knowledge is emerging. And so my foundation is right. It will be possible for the student to, and again with this orientation of working knowledge and skill seamlessly linked and work through project based learning, if it has happened, they will be able to adapt to any emerging area. And again, there you have to do it with, again, because you don't want to be using artificial intelligence or machine learning without ethics and integrity. So that is where the spiritual quotient, the emotional quotient, and the intellectual all have to come seamlessly together also. And that life experience has to be brought in every situation. Then we will be able to solve any problem. I mean, whether we are in the age of artificial intelligence, machine learning, or I am working literally with no tools and in literally a jungle, we will be able to solve. So, but having a strong foundation and ability to leverage our knowledge and use the tools available, or willingness to again learn new tools, as you said, we should be open to learning those new tools or the interfaces, but the core foundation doesn't change. Then we'll be able to take up any new emerging area and solve problems or meet the job aspiration. And there, first of all, therefore, we have to come out of this mindset that education or a degree is a meal ticket or a job ticket. It is an enabler for us to give us the skill. It is like whether I'm learning cycling, whether I'm learning swimming, whether I'm learning to ride an aircraft or a car. I should know as much about the car, so that if I'm stuck somewhere, I need to repair it. But at the same time, I should know about driving. So this is that integrated approach of skill and knowledge. Then we'll be able to adapt it. So if I know cycling, I can simply go for a leisurely cycling path, or I could even do acrobatics if I'm more proficient. So the job is the acrobatics part of the cycling. But then I should clearly know the foundation of proper cycling, and then I think job will not be a problem. And that orientation has to be given by the teachers, and not say that, oh, this is just a one line meal ticket. You just have this ticket, you have one meal. But it's a perpetual. It's like knowing to fishing, knowing to fish, so that lifelong you can get a fish. So that's how I think is and that's where experiential learning is very critical, along with strong understanding foundation.
Right. Definitely, you are encouraging experiential learning, and because this is the age of learning by doing all. So we absolutely agree with you, sir. Sir, it is often seen that science has perhaps caused more harm than good by inventing self-destructive items of mass destruction, like making and using not only atom bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but also by using lethal missiles in ongoing wars in Israel, Syria, Ukraine, and many other countries. My question here is, can't science or scientists think of creating a human lab in which they could make a peace bomb and drop that peace bomb everywhere on this planet so that mankind could live in harmony with nature and fellow human beings with a sense of coexistence and cooperation rather than throat-cutting competition? Over to you, sir.
Well, it's a truly loaded and a very complex question. It has maybe two parts to it. On one side, we are blaming the technology and science for all of our modern day problems, and maybe trying to say, can we throw away the baby with the bathwater when we say we do not need science and technology? But equally, when we are looking at the solution or a magic wand to solve our problem, we are still calling for technology as an enabler. And therefore, when we look at both of this issue, the solution comes through, again, knowledge, education, and information. Therefore, I think we have to be very careful, and we should stop blaming the tool for the problems. The tool can be equally used for productive purpose, like using a chisel for making a statue, or using the same chisel to break down a stone. Or equally, say, water and fire are a great enabler for every aspect, from cooking to cure, as also from destruction or calamities. So, but then we need to identify and differentiate between natural calamities and the man-made or human calamities. Most of our current day problems are man-made calamities, and the man-made calamities is because of our biased opinion, insufficient information, or possibly various other requirements that need to be addressed. And again, coming back to the point, in the age of knowledge era, in the age of information technology, the solution has to be through education, and education alone, and a proper education with a proper mindset and a clear information, honest, unbiased information leading to this transformation. So if you actually look at it, most of our current day problem is because of overload of information, biased or fake, and again wrong narratives and wrong interpretations. And therefore, as we said in the beginning, the solution has to come from education. And India, that means calling for linking our Indian knowledge system, which always said Sarva Dharma Samanvaya, or some Sadbhava. It is looking at harmony in all schools of thoughts. Or even it said Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. So the truth is one, but people express it in different ways. And therefore, in the current day knowledge, just the intellect is not good enough. The knowledge has to have the intellectual quotient, the emotional quotient, the empathetic quotient, to spiritual quotient also, bringing in an integrated way. And that can again happen only through a proper multidisciplinary, immersive, experiential learning when we deal with project-based activity. And that has to be the basis to bring in all this education to children from the right time. And we are, as we said, again, the havoc has been caused by information or misinformation and disinformation, excess of information havoc. And that has been happening with the multimedia. So we are in the age of artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality. And all of them on one side can give pleasure. Can they not also give the right knowledge and the right information, so that this information would make people to orient themselves in a more better way and realize that we just have one earth. None of us own it exclusively, and it has to be shared, and that sharing has to happen with compassion, with knowledge and understanding, and a mutual give and take, and it cannot be a one-way process. And again, even more important, I think if you look at maybe the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha, maybe they are not even biased by the prior knowledge and they might be more open. But maybe it is the baby boomers to the Gen X who are more biased in their knowledge, and the millennials are somewhere in between. So therefore now education has to happen across the sector of people. And so the magic wand or the solution for happy living is again coming back. Prajnanam Brahma. Knowledge is ultimate, as we said in the beginning. And how do we now deliver this knowledge in this age of multimedia or age of information in a proper way, so that we all could truly gain the joy of knowledge, the joy of learning, and from there create the joy of living. And therefore the solution is again in the education, and a proper holistic education with unlimited unbiased information and with support mechanism to orient people from whatever their previous hate or orientation or constraints, and move towards positive embracing of each other with an open arm. And that could be the only way we can move forward. Thank you.
And to conclude our interaction, there are many things which I feel like asking, but then we have a limitation of time. So slowly we shall end this interaction. But prior to that, to conclude, may I now request you to kindly give a message of peace and progress to mankind at large, so that we could create a better human, better society, better nation, better planet for a better tomorrow. So please throw some light as a peace message, sir.
Well, I think we are all learners, and I am also a student, and within my limited, I might not be able to truly give a bigger message. But what I am very clear is openness to learning, openness to all points of view is the first requirement today in the age of knowledge and age of reduced knowledge life cycles. So the moment I am open to another point of view and appreciate another point of view and try to respect it, I think that itself is a first step of progress in any situation, whether it is technology, whether it is people to people, whether it is even say confrontation on differential opinion. So therefore, I would say that we are in the middle of the knowledge era. Knowledge is a huge enabler for all aspects of life, and therefore we need to have this open mind and willing to accept different points of view, because every point has 360 degrees and I never get 360-degree view, because I'm at the most I will get 120, 140-degree view. Okay, and then of course today tools can be used. So therefore, the moment we are open to other points of view and to respect other points of view and willing to learn, and then there has to be truly a mutual give and take. So and especially as we are looking at sustainable development, so we need to respect even our environment, respect people with different points of view. And how do we now see that we help each other? Because we just have this one world, and we cannot be mercenary or only commercial or financial in our outlook. And we need to truly look at the world with knowledge, with empathy, with a spiritual outlook, and also see that we are truly sustainable. Because Mahatma Gandhi said, there is always enough for everybody in the world, but never enough even for one man's greed. And therefore, our aspiration should be high, but it should be enabling everybody along with ourselves and not look at only personal gaining. And then that knowledge, I think, truly will enable us and the whole society. And there should be unlimited opportunity for all of us. And truly the joy of learning should give a joy of living also. Yeah.
Thoughtful of you, sir. Very thoughtful of you. And we are immensely grateful to you for your scholarly presence with us today. और शिक्षा जगत में आपके उत्कृष्ट और सराहनीय कार्यों के लिए लाइफ एक्सप्रेस की जूरी ने आपके लिए एक अवार्ड की घोषणा की है, और वो अवार्ड है लाइफ एक्सप्रेस अवार्ड ऑफ आइकॉनिक एजुकेशनिस्ट। और हम चाहेंगे कि आप इस अवार्ड को सहर्ष स्वीकार करें, और आपके इस उपलब्धि पर आपको ढेरों बधाई। हार्टिएस्ट कांग्रेचुलेशन सर।
धन्यवाद।
LXP Award of Iconic Educationist is proudly presented to Professor B.S. Satyanaryana for his exemplary contributions to Indian academia on 28th October 2024.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, हमेशा की तरह आज के के सेगमेंट में सबसे पहले हम एक ह्यूमन वैल्यू सीखेंगे और उसके बाद हम एक भारत के पारंपरिक मान्यता या ट्रेडिशनल बिलीफ के वैज्ञानिक कारण को भी समझेंगे। लेकिन पहले हम बात करेंगे ह्यूमन वैल्यू की। पिछला ह्यूमन वैल्यू जो हमने हिंदी अल्फ़ाबेट के जरिए सीखा था वो था ऐश्वर्य, और हिंदी का अगला लेटर या अक्षर है ओ। अब आप सोच रहे होंगे कि ओ से क्या हो सकता है। आप अनुमान लगाइए, लेकिन ओ से जिस मानव मूल्य का मैंने चयन किया है वो है ओजस्वी। ओजस्वी शब्द आपने कई बार अपने बड़े बुजुर्ग के मुंह से आशीर्वाद के रूप में सुना होगा, खासकर जब हम उनके चरण स्पर्श करते हैं या जब हम उनसे आशीर्वाद लेते हैं। वे कहते हैं ओजस्वी भव, यानी ओजस्वी बनो। ओजस्वी एक संस्कृत शब्द है जिसका मूल रूप ओज या ओजस है, और ओज या ओजस का अर्थ है तेज, प्रभाव, जोश, बल, ऊर्जा या चमक, या जिसे आप हिंदी में ज़ील भी कभी कभी कहते हैं। अमूमन जब हम भोजन ग्रहण करते हैं तो उस भोजन का एक छोटा हिस्सा ओजस के रूप में परिवर्तित हो जाता है, जो आपको चैतन्य को पाने में मदद करती है। और जब किसी का ओज प्रभावशाली होने लगता है तो उसे सभी दिव्य चीजें आसानी से प्राप्त होने लगती है। इसलिए आवश्यकता है कि लोग अपने ओजस को सशक्त करें, नहीं तो ओजस के अभाव में आपके व्यक्तित्व में अनुशासन की कमी होने लगती है, और ओजस कम होने का मुख्य कारण आपके लाइफस्टाइल या जीवन शैली में असंतुलन होने लगता है। लोगों के जीवन में इतना भटकाव हो गया है कि ना तो लोग संतुलित आहार ले पाते हैं, ना ही ठीक से स्नान, ध्यान, आराम, व्यायाम कर पाते हैं, और इन्हीं कारणों से आपकी ऊर्जा स्थिर नहीं हो पाती और आप ओजस्वी नहीं बन पाते। और इन्हीं कारणों से आप में, समाज में एक अस्थिरता या नेगेटिव एनर्जी ज़्यादा फैलने लगी है। आज समाज में कम से कम 25% लोग भी ओजस्वी हो जाए ना, मैं दावे से कह सकता हूँ कि उस समाज में शांति एवं उन्नति निश्चित है। इसलिए ध्यान रहे कि यदि ओजस्वी बनना है तो अपने अंदर के नेगेटिव थॉट्स को, बैड हैबिट्स को, इल फीलिंग्स को, एक्सेसिव ईटिंग्स को, लस्ट को, पॉल्यूटेड एनवायरनमेंट को, स्टिमुलेटिंग फूड को, फाउल स्पीच को और एक्सेसिव प्लानिंग्स को ना कहे। ऐसा करने से ना सिर्फ आप में एक नई ऊर्जा आएगी, बल्कि आपके आसपास के लोगों को भी परमानंद का अनुभव होता है, और जिससे मानव समुदाय में, या मैं कह सकता हूँ मानव समुदाय का कल्याण भी होगा। तो अब हम आगे बढ़ते हैं अपनी एक पारंपरिक मान्यता के वैज्ञानिक कारण की ओर, और इसके अंतर्गत आज हम जप माला के प्रकार और 108 दानों वाली माला का अंक विज्ञान समझेंगे। अकॉर्डिंग टू के.वी. सिंह, मंत्र साधना के लिए या नाम जप के लिए माला का प्रयोग लगभग सभी धर्म में है। अंतर केवल इतना है कि माला के दाने अलग अलग गणित से पिरोए जाते हैं। हिंदू धर्म में 108 दाने वाली माला का प्रयोग प्रायः होता है। इस्लाम में इसे तस्वी कहते हैं और उसमें 100 दाने होते हैं। हर 33 दानों के बाद एक जामीन नामक दाना होता है। हस्बी में सबसे ऊपर के दाने को इमाम कहते हैं। ईसाई धर्म में माला रोजरी कहलाती है और इसमें 60 दाने होते हैं। रोजरी में सबसे ऊपर क्रूसीफिक्स होता है। सिखों की माला में 27 दाने होते हैं। सिख 108 दानों की माला का भी प्रयोग करते हैं। वैसे मालाएं दो प्रकार की होती है, एक जप माला और दूसरी धारण करने की माला। जप माला 108 दानों की होती है, जबकि धारण करने वाली माला 32, 27, 5 या 3 दानों की होती है। जिस माला से जप करते हैं उसे पहनना नहीं चाहिए। हिंदुओं में 108 दानों के पीछे अंक विज्ञान है। सबसे ऊपर के दाने को सुमेरु कहते हैं। सनातन ऋषि मुनियों ने 108 दानों का गणित प्रकृति के कई सिद्धांतों को ध्यान में रखकर निश्चित किया था। इस अंक का विज्ञान पूरे ब्रह्मांड को अपने आप में समाये हुए है। यह अंक संख्या 9 ग्रहों और 12 राशियों का गुणनफल है जो पूरे ब्रह्मांड को अपने में समाहित किए हुए हैं। नक्षत्र संख्या में 27 हैं और हर नक्षत्र के 4-4 चरण हैं जिनका गुणनफल भी 108 है। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टि से 3 आयामों की इस दुनिया से परे जो चौथा आयाम है उसी को अपने में समाये जो अंक बनता है, उसी से 27 नक्षत्रों की गणना को गुना करने से भी 108 का अंक बनता है। इस प्रकार मंत्र ध्वनि उस चौथे आयाम तक पहुंचती है जो इन आयामों की दुनिया से परे हैं। एक और कारण से भी 108 का अंक महत्वपूर्ण है। एक दिवस में 24 घंटे होते हैं। पल, घड़ी और हर पड़ी में 60 पल व हर घंटे में 60, हर पल में 60 प्रतिफल। इस प्रकार एक दिन में जितने विपल होते हैं उसमें 2 से भाग देने पर 1,08,000 संख्या आती है, जिसके मूल में 108 की संख्या है। हिंदू धर्म में मालाएं भी कई प्रकार की हैं जिनका उपयोग अलग अलग कार्य सिद्धि और देवताओं के लिए होता है। आमतौर पर तुलसी, चंदन व रुद्राक्ष की माला होती है, पर विशेष मंत्र साधना के लिए मुक्ता माला, प्रवाल माला, हल्दी की माला, कमल गट्टे की मालाएं भी होती हैं। इन सब के पीछे जो विज्ञान है वह मंत्र विशेष या देवी देवता की तरंगों को ध्यान में रखकर किया गया है। उदाहरण के लिए मोती की माला का प्रयोग चंद्रमा ग्रह और लक्ष्मी देवी से संबंधित है। इसी प्रकार हल्दी की माला मां दुर्गे से संबंध रखती है, परंतु रुद्राक्ष की माला सर्वश्रेष्ठ है और किसी मंत्र या देवता की पूजा आराधना में प्रयोग की जा सकती है। अभिप्राय यह है कि माला का चयन वैज्ञानिक कारण से है, किसी काल्पनिक या अंधविश्वास के कारण नहीं। जप माला के विषय में एक महत्वपूर्ण बात यह भी है कि जप माला हर व्यक्ति की अपनी अलग होनी चाहिए। किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति की जप माला का प्रयोग नहीं करना चाहिए और ना ही अपनी माला जपने के लिए किसी को देनी चाहिए। आपकी माला आपके आध्यात्मिक लॉकर की तरह होती है जिस पर आपने मंत्रों की जमा पूंजी सूक्ष्म रूप से संजोई होती है। इसलिए जप करते समय आपको अपनी माला गोमुखी में रखकर जाप करना चाहिए ताकि कोई आपको जप करते समय देखे नहीं। माला द्वारा मंत्र जाप किए जाने के पीछे वैज्ञानिक पक्ष यह है कि अंगुष्ठ, अंगूठा और मध्यमा अंगुली द्वारा जब माला का दाना फेरा जाता है तब इन तीनों के संघर्ष से या घर्षण से एक विलक्षण मानव विद्युत उत्पन्न होती है जो सीधी हमारे हृदय चक्र को प्रभावित करती है। इससे मन को एकाग्र करने में सहायता मिलती है। भारतीय चिंतन के अनुसार हमारे शरीर में अंगुष्ठ का संबंध आत्मा से और मध्यमा अंगुली का हृदय प्रदेश से सीधा संबंध है। इसलिए मंत्र जाप माला द्वारा ही करनी चाहिए। अब आगे बढ़ते हैं अपने लैंग्वेज क्लास की ओर, जहां हम सीखेंगे इंटोनेशन या सेंटेंस स्ट्रेस का पहला रूल आज।
Hello everyone and welcome to our language class, and today we are going to learn sentence stress rules. Sentence stress, you can also call it intonation. In our previous lectures we had seen word stress rules in which आपने देखा होगा कि हमने वर्ड स्ट्रेस में क्या था कि वर्ड्स के डिफरेंट सिलेबल्स में कहाँ किस सिलेबल पे ज़्यादा बल देना है, किस पे कम बल देना है। लेकिन इंटोनेशन में थोड़ा हम डिफरेंट चीज़ों को समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, और वो है कि यहाँ पे सिलेबल्स पे नहीं, सिलेबल्स पे तो जहाँ जो बल पड़ रहा है वो तो आप डालो, जो हमने सीखा है अभी तक। लेकिन इंटोनेशन में हम ये देखेंगे कि किस वर्ड्स पे ज़्यादा बल देना है किसी वाक्य में। ठीक है, वर्ड स्ट्रेस में हमने क्या देखा था कि किस सिलेबल पे किसी वर्ड में ज़्यादा बल देना है, और इंटोनेशन में हम समझने जा रहे हैं कि किस वर्ड्स पे किसी वाक्य में ज़्यादा बल देना है। ठीक है, सो दिस रूल सेज, by the way, before we move to the rule, you can see the definition of intonation, which says that intonation is variation in the pitch of our voice in terms of rising and falling tone to distinguish more prominent and less prominent part of your speech. Okay, कि कौन सा पार्ट आपके सेंटेंस का जोर से बोला जाए, ज़्यादा प्रोमिनेंट हो, कौन सा कम हो, किसको हम राइजिंग टोन पे हम उठाएं, किसको हम फॉलिंग टोन पे नीचे करें। ये तमाम चीज़ें जो हैं ये इंटोनेशन का काम होता है। ओके, दैट्स व्हाई इट स्टार्ट्स विद लाइक वेरिएशन इन द पिच ऑफ योर वॉइस। So let's start with the first rule. The first rule says, use rising tone for open words and falling tone for closed words. हिंदी में कहें तो रूल ये कह रहा है कि आपको किसी भी वाक्य में यदि ओपन वर्ड्स आते हैं तो वहाँ आपको ओपन वर्ड्स को जोर से बोलना है, हाई पिच पे बोलना है, और अगर क्लोज्ड वर्ड्स है तो उसे हाई पिच पे हमें नहीं बोलना है, उसे फॉलिंग टोन पे या नॉर्मल रखना है। ठीक है, अब एक एग्जाम्पल हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे। द सेंटेंस इज हियर, इफ यू सी दिस सेंटेंस, interrogative sentence in which you have how many words? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 words. So this sentence is made up of 11 words. और इसमें हम देखते हैं कि auxiliary verbs, pronoun, main verbs, तो इस तरह से कई पार्ट्स ऑफ स्पीच का प्रयोग हुआ है। लेकिन अब ये 11 वर्ड्स में बात आती है कि क्या हम सभी वर्ड्स को हाई पिच पे बोलें, या सभी वर्ड्स को लो पिच पे बोलें, या सभी वर्ड्स को एक समान ही बोलें। नहीं, एक समान हम नहीं बोल सकते हैं। वैसे भी इंग्लिश में एक कहावत है कि इफ़ एवरीथिंग इज़ इम्पोर्टेंट देन नथिंग इज़ इम्पोर्टेंट। ओके, तो अगर मैं इसको हाई और लो पिच पे नहीं बोलूं तो मैं इस वाक्य को कुछ ऐसे प्रोनाउंस कर सकता हूं, विल यू सेल माई कार बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू फ्रांस। ओके, तो यहाँ पे मैंने ना तो हाई किया ना लो किया, मैंने एकदम फ्लैट पिच पे बोल दिया, जो कि गलत है। ठीक है, तो हमें करना क्या है, किस पे हम ज़्यादा बल दें, किस पे कम बल दें, किस वर्ड्स पे। तो इसके लिए रूल ये कह रहा है कि यदि आपके पास में दो तरह के और नॉर्मली वर्ड्स होते हैं, ओपन वर्ड्स एंड क्लोज्ड वर्ड्स। ठीक है, आपको मैंने यहाँ नीचे दिखा भी दिया है कि कौन कौन से वर्ड्स ओपन वर्ड्स की कैटेगरी में आते हैं, कौन से वर्ड्स क्लोज्ड कैटेगरीज में आते हैं। तो रूल ने हमें ये बताया है कि ओपन वर्ड्स यदि आते हैं किसी भी वाक्य में तो उसे हमें क्या करना है, हाई पिच पे बोलना है, और क्लोज्ड वर्ड्स जो आते हैं उसे हमें नॉर्मल या लो पिच पे रखना है, जो कि एरो द्वारा बताया गया है, दर्शाया गया है। ठीक है, तो अब हम एज पर रूल, अकॉर्डिंग टू रूल, इसको प्रोनाउंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं। ठीक है, सो इट विल गो लाइक दिस, विल यू सेल माई कार बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू फ्रांस। अब इसको मैं नॉर्मल वे में पढ़ने की कोशिश करता हूं, विल यू सेल माई कार बिकॉज आई एम गोइंग टू फ्रांस। Again I will say, will you sell my car because I'm going to France? So you see, I'm going on rising tone, for open words. Sell, car, going, France. मैंने इसको क्या किया है, हाई पिच पे लेके मैं गया हूँ, ठीक है। जबकि इन वर्ड्स जो कि क्लोज्ड वर्ड्स है, विल, यू, माई, बिकॉज, टू, इसको हमने नॉर्मल पिच पे रखा है, लो पिच पे रखा है. So this is all about our first rule of intonation. Next time we shall learn new rule of intonation.
आज के सत्र की समाप्ति मैं फिर एक आह्वान के साथ करूंगा, खासकर डॉक्टर सत्यनारायण जी की बातचीत से निकले मुख्य अंश को लेकर के. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, इंडिया was a country where knowledge was not encased. लेकिन जब से शिक्षा का व्यवसायीकरण हुआ है, many of us know the price of everything but value of nothing. ये नहीं था हमारा शैक्षणिक संस्कार. आज की शिक्षा का अगर हम आउटकम देखें तो हम पाते हैं कि शिक्षा अधिकतर डिग्री होल्डर्स की फौज खड़ा कर रही है, ना कि राइचस ह्यूमन की, और जिसका नतीजा है कि हमारा समाज, हमारी धरती अब रहने लायक नहीं रही. इसलिए मैं ये कहूँगा कि शिक्षा का आप सही उद्देश्य समझें, और सही उद्देश्य है मनुष्य को रोग, शोक, पाप, द्वेष, दीनता, कुसंस्कार, अज्ञान, दुर्गुण आदि के सामाजिक, शारीरिक एवं मानसिक बंधनों से मुक्ति दिलाए. और जो विद्या इन पहलुओं पर ध्यान दे वही विद्या सही है, और उसे ही सीखना और सिखाना उचित है. तो मिलते हैं अगले एपिसोड में. टिल देन एंजॉय योर टाइम मीनिंगफुली, और हाँ, अपना और अपनों का भी ख्याल रखें. जय हिंद.